WrestlingPlus.com. WrestlingPlus.com presents Barry and John's Wrestling Spot. So sit down, open your ears, and most importantly, shut the hell up.
All right, and welcome to the Wrestling Spot. This is Barry. How is it going, John?
Barry. It is going great. It's going great from where I'm at. I know it's going great from where you're at because you're right here with me, brother. So, let's break into tonight's action.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. We just got to witness round 2 of the Total Action Guaranteed World Cup Tournament, the biggest event in professional wrestling history, and some of the best professional wrestling that has ever happened tonight. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, this is it's been a huge tournament. This round 2 was so exciting. Well, some would even say more exciting than round 1. I'd say that.
I don't disagree with you there. I think round 1 was excellent, but it's getting a little bit more. It's getting a little bit heavier, you know. 8 matches that we got to witness tonight. 16 top competitors. It really separates the men from the boys, as they used to say back when you could say things like that. You
can say it on the spot.
Well, hey, this ain't no shoot interview, but I say what I say. So tonight we got to see some excellent things, and Barry, coming out of this, only 8 people remain in the Total Action Guaranteed World Cup Tournament. This is round 3 is going to be intense. We know who's left. We don't know what kind of matches they'll be put through though. We should just probably get into it. What first match of the evening? Kaoru Vendo from Super Rise V, the current Ryoshi champion, facing La Vida de la Fiesta in a yardstick match. Fiesta from Pride of the Mask Lucha Libre. Winner was Kaoru Vendo. Did you see that coming? I mean, go ahead.
I did, because, Vendo over there, training in the arts over there, learning how to use a katana, all that, utilizing those skills with a katana, transferring it over into a yardstick. Crazy. Definitely their match for both those competitors, and that's like the first yardstick match. Dear God, I don't think we've seen a yardstick match since like 2016.
It's been quite some time.
Yeah, I know. Fatal against, I believe, Wildman. So,
wow.
When they were going for the cruiserweights, it was that long. I just wanted to throw that fun fact out there. That was a great match. But this yardstick match kind of made all the other yardstick matches look like they were just a walk in Disneyland or something. This one was brutal.
I got a super fan comment for you here. I just pulled it up on Twitter. You know how the fans over on Twitter, they like to call us out on things. Barry, last yardstick match was 2018 bloodletting. Mitchell Fatal versus McMack in McMack's debut match with the RWF. And,
Jesus!
Yeah.
How could I forget that?
This fan calls you, just said we're losers for not knowing that off the top of our head. Well,
shit.
you're the loser listening to us, but hey, thanks. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, and hey, I forgot about that one because the match ended in Fatal getting arrested during the match.
True.
So
take that, loser. The match barely happened.
yeah.
Oh well, getting back to the meat and potatoes of this all, I agree with you. I think Cairo Vendo looked excellent out there. I think he's currently a champion. He's doing great things in Super Rise. It's kind of he's on his upswing. He just had a match at the RWF's Perfect 2020 Vision, beat the Amazing Hazen. Then he goes and beats Fiesta here. Fiesta not having the greatest time as of late. Vendo, pardon me, Cairo Vendo, all due respect, changed some things up. Maybe it's time for Fiesta to do the same. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from him.
Yeah, he's kicking ass. He's beating former world champions. He's a champion himself, and he's doing an amazing job out there. I mean, he's really showing what he's made of. He's really showing what he can do, and it was a great match. And I'm not much for the super violent matches, but goddamn, that was violent. So.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Do you think there's any validity to what Vendo was saying about Fiesta being a super spreader?
We can only speculate. Possibly. I mean, he did never stop partying.
That is true. The party never stops with him.
No.
Now,
I don't hold it against the guy for continuing to party. Through the pandemic.
I mean, no. How could you? I mean, that's what put him on top. So, I got another tweet just came in here. Cairo Vendo, sucker. That is from Julius. Julius, hey,
wow.
We're glad you're listening. But
come on the show.
Come on the show.
I'd love to get
Come on the show.
Yeah.
Come talk to us. Call Cairo Vendo a sucker on the air. Don't get on social media and do that. It's funny, but you're not getting anything done. You got anything else you want to say about that before we move on to the second match?
No. Great.
Okay. So next. The second match of the night. Second match, round 2, total action, guaranteed World Cup tournament. That's a mouthful. Speaking of mouthfuls, Chad the Shad versus Conquistador Al Valiente in a Platforme de El Muerte match. We're talking about super violent matches.
Yeah, damn.
Winner.
Wow.
Chad the Chad.
I must say that I thought. I mean, this is a staple match for Heavy Fuse and Pride of the Mask. They invented that match down there. I thought for sure Conquistador was going to win this one, but you can't beat a wily old dog like Chad the Shad.
I agree with you. This is kind of a staple of Conquistadors. This is his wheelhouse. But beyond that, I have to say, where the hell has Chad the Shad been? We hardly ever hear from him. He used to talk so much. I loved breaking down his promos with you and breaking down his matches with you. Now we hardly hear from him, but when he showed up. Maybe it was more mental preparing. Maybe he, got reclusive because, you get told you're going into a Platform del Muerte match. you got to get your head in the game. And it looks like it did for him.
Absolutely did. I mean, you know, he looked like he'd been there before. You couldn't tell. There was no signs of nerves, nothing. I mean, and just think about how terrifying that is just to get up on that platform in general, just to walk around. I mean, just to be up there, but then to wrestle up top.
True.
I mean, he looked like he had full control, and they both did. Conquistador damn near flipped up top of that thing. I mean, neither opponent team phased by any of it.
Conquistador looks like he's at home, perched atop the platform. But Chad the Shad, someone who's no stranger to being top of the world, you know, Chad the Shad has his own gym, his own ring at his gym. He's a guy that, you know, he's crazy enough. He was probably practicing this in his own time, getting ready for this. You know, if I was a crazy son of a bitch like Chad the Shad, I would be. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in one of these matches.
No, I am perfectly fine sitting back here on the couch watching these with you. Now, talking about dangerous matches, and that's part of the action of the Total Action Guaranteed, you know, and match 3, Devin O'Doul of the Buddy Boys, you know, half of a tag team that just lost their Army of Two titles at 2020 Vision versus Dax McAllister. Dax McAllister still in recovery from excessive injuries over the past few years. In a tables match, Dax McAllister wins. Like, so much is going through my head here with this. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite the match. I'll be honest, because of all those injuries, I didn't think Dax was going to win this one. Just because of all the injuries he had brought up with his leg. Devin O'Doul, not a singles guy. He's been in a few singles matches here and there, but I thought he was going to have the win on this one. I thought he had a leg up, pun intended, over Dax. But yeah, Devin didn't pull it off. I can only blame his partner, Ricky, for keeping him up at night. Probably couldn't get enough reps, you know, pulling the can up to his face, pulling the old hands up, and you know. So,
but here's the other the flip side of that, you know. And this doesn't go. I have so much to say on this, and like this is why we get here and do this. So first off, I want to say it's a miracle Dax McAllister could make it into the ring. It's a miracle that he's made it into round 2, and he looked pretty good in the ring. You know, like getting down to the ring, he was a little slow. You could see his hip was bothering him real bad. But you know, I've seen him backstage stretching excessively, so that's cool. You know, good to see that. You know, he needs to limber up, pull this off. Over to the other side. This is not getting into some conversation of what should be done in the home, but Devin O'Doul, Ricky Slick is keeping Devin up at night, partying, hanging out. That's one thing. But, you know, I know Ricky has been there to support Devin and vice versa through the years. That's why they are, in my opinion, the greatest Army of Two team ever. Goofy bastards, but they, in my opinion, that's where those guys rank. You know, as of right now, the Calientes have it, and I mean, Calientes have a pedigree of their own that speaks on its own. So there's that. But I blame Chad the Shad on this. You know, if we're really looking into it, and they're staying up all night, Chad the Shad's at his own personal gym training, not being at home, not being a good parent. It's kind of it's depressing because, you know, these guys are his boys. You know, adopted father or not, this is it's just neglectful. And, you know, these guys, you know, Chad moved on. I mean, you know, Chad can't hold their hands all the time.
Sure.
But, you know, it's like, I think, you know, having your two boys lose out their matches while you're still moving on and you're not showing up. Chad the Shad, I love you. If you're listening, you're not showing up to the studio except for your matches. You're not showing up at home because you're not being a good father. But, you know, I don't even have kids, so what the hell do I know? So, you got anything else you want to say about that tables match? That was an impressive one. You know, the way Dax was able to get the table up in the corner of the ring and then spear Devin through that table, it counts. Didn't see that coming, though.
No. You know, I think that most people don't think he would have did some of that parkour, hardcore, flippity-doo. But, you know.
That hip still looks tender to him, though, but.
Yeah. I think he may be still suffering a little bit. He wasn't doing as much parkour, so, yeah, he did what he had to do, and he came out to make it to round 3 coming up here, so, yeah.
I saw him backstage, you know, heading to the inversion table. So, you know, whatever helps get him back into shape. So, you know, that's great. But as brutal as that was, as brutal as the first 3 matches were, match 4. Mitchell Fatal, the RWF Incarnate, versus one half of our current Army of 2 champions, Don Caliente, in a first blood match. You know, we were bound to see blood at some point tonight. That's guaranteed in the action. Pun intended. But, damn. What was your take on this? Don Caliente pulling off the win.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to take in here. I mean, we had one of the guys that I think everybody was going to do pretty well in the tournament, make it, you know, at least more close to the finals. Fatal going out in round 2. Getting some color there, lots and lots of color. He really got split open by Dawn. Quite surprising in some ways, but
it's surprising us. Did you see the look of surprise on Fatal's face when, you know, the blow hit, the ref threw his hands up, and then before Fatal could tell, he was covered in blood. And the match was over, and the dream was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, just like that. You just never know how these tournaments are going to go.
And that's Fatal. I just plugged your line there, Mitchell Fatal, so, you know, not to step on your ego, but Don Caliente, the night was yours. You know, I personally, I thought Mitchell Fatal would have, and this is not discrediting him, you know, I nick myself shaving sometimes and almost pass out from the blood loss. It happens. You know, these guys are out there. They're putting their bodies on the line. It just wasn't Fatal's night. And you know, but Don seemed really ready for this. And when we look at before the event, Don Caliente seemed kind of annoyed with Mitchell Fatal. I don't know what that could be about, but maybe this was just a little bit of a receipt, little bit of just a pissing contest. I don't know, but I'm just speculating, purely putting out the speculation. So
yeah, who knows? I mean, you go into it and Fatal seemed to have by all memory, it seemed like he was a pretty good supporter of Don and came into it respectful. Don, not so much. Who knows what's going on there? I mean, if there's something there, who knows? I mean, it was two guys that we haven't been able to see in a match, working in two different companies. Maybe we get to see it again. I'd love to see a rematch. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, I think this match was too short. But, it just you start bleeding, it's over. So,
yeah.
We're at the halfway mark of the night. Do you have anything you want to throw out there about any of the first four matches, or are you ready to just keep rolling right through this?
No, the first half night was great, and it just continued to get better.
It did. It was about this point in the night that I cracked my first Key energy drink. We'll get to talking about them a little bit later in the show, but it was perfect. It kept me energized. I got through the rest of the matches. Not that I was falling asleep, but I was so overstimulated just by how much action was going on. And speaking of overstimulation, fifth match of the night, also a barn burner, as the kids say. Baku Harigo versus AKIV, a four corners match. Winner, the Piercing Spirit, Baku Harigo. You take it away. You tell me about this match, because wow.
Yeah, I mean, Baku Harigo seemed like he was really found his zen and focus. I mean, this is a hard match. This is kind of a grueling match, getting your opponent out four corners. I mean, it's a hell of a match and a hell of a thing to win over a guy like AKIV, who's basically a walking mountain. Jesus Christ. So for Bakahari to win this yet again, I would have lost some money on this one. I didn't think Bakahari was going to have it in him, but, man, he really summoned up all that energy. What was he calling it? The four winds?
The beasts of the four cardinal directions he was talking about.
Okay.
Maybe that's what, if he was able to gain strength from that, good. This is a grueling match. This is it keeps edging you along, because you get to the second corner, the third corner, and then it keeps going. Then you got to start over. It's and AKIV, like you said, that's a tough SOB, and that's not discrediting Baku Harigo in any way. But like you said, I think he found a zen. I think he found that inner beast, and it was his night. It was his night.
He just one punch, or 1 inch punch the mountain, and really nailed it in.
Yeah, both of these men world traveled too. So I'm glad that we got to see this. So this was a good one. Next match. The next match was wow. I mean, this was a match that I was looking forward to when they announced round 2, I was like, I remember calling you and being like, damn, this is gonna take the show. I don't know if it did. It's definitely up there. Zero versus the Amazing Hazen in a break the glass match. First one I've seen. First style match like that I've seen. These two got a lot of heat. These two got a lot of history. Winner, Amazing Hazen.
Yeah. Wow.
You know,
Definitely first time I've ever seen a match like this. Especially in the United States, a match like this in the United States. Really crazy match against two opponents who just have a loathing for each other that can only be described as loathing. So
yeah.
It was a hell of a match. Amazing Hazen pulled it off against, now a longtime rival, former partner, going back. Zero just playing the mental game here, taunting their past, bringing up just the history with these two, and unfortunately for Zero, the mental game did not work this time. So Amazing Hazen was able to pull it off.
Yeah, I don't want to say vindication, but let's remember, Zero is the guy that took the European title from Amazing Hazen. That Amazing Hazen has gone on to do big, great things. But that was the day, that the Amazing Hazen changed, and that was because of Zero. Zero, and the thing is, you could see Zero laughing and having fun in the ring with glass sticking in his mask, blood pouring from underneath of it. And like Amazing Hazen really looked cathartic. And that's something that's like, well, that's crazy to see someone that, Amazing Hazen lays it on the line every time he gets in the ring. But this was a we talk about Zen. This was a man on a mission. And the way Zero laughed and sat there in his defeat, to me, it looks like it looked like Zero felt like he won. And that's the disgusting part about that f***ing, pardon, or we might have to have the censors bleep that for some channels, but for Zero, Zero's a guy that can go out there and beat anyone into a pulp. He's one of those guys. But to get in your head, and it's one of those. In his loss, he is laughing like he got one over on the Amazing Hazen, and that's interesting. I'd love to see him go at it again in the future. But what's this gonna do to Amazing Hazen? Like, to have to resort to that, to have to put someone through a sheet of glass to get vengeance. Is vengeance the right thing? I don't know. I'm just pulling this out of the old locker here. But just what's your take on that? Or do you think it was just a match? It's over with. Zero's a maniac.
No, I would highly speculate that Zero, his reaction was some shit out of Hellraiser. I mean, it was like he was looking for another level, maybe getting on Hazen's next level, another pun intended. Where he's playing games, and I'm not saying that Amazing Hazen didn't win that match, but Zero seemed to have no emotion other than joy. And it was almost disgusting. Well, not always. It was really a disgusting sight. The look on Amazing Hazen's face was a one of disgust mixed with hate, mixed with vengeance, I would say. And I don't think it's over. I don't think Zero can ever let go of anything. He's a maniac. I don't think he forgets. I mean, he's a guy that carries a black book of revenge. And he has a file on everybody on his computer systems, I'm sure. Zero seemed very well pleased with the results. Of what Amazing Hazen had to do to him to win the match.
Amazing looked exhausted at the end of this match. Now, he's on the Revolver World Tour right now. So him swinging by, just being able to do this, jet lagged, everything. But this looked like he looked in peak shape going into the match. This just reminds me. This is comic book lore. This is Batman and Joker. Joker. Getting into the Batman's head. That's how it felt to me. And
I don't think there's a better analogy there.
Yeah, it's just
this was Batman pulling the trigger.
Zero's he's a disgusting man. But we should probably wrap that one. Speaking of disgust.
Yeah.
Speaking of disgust. Match 7. Ex-Altera's Deity Gray versus Wildman. Over the top rope match. Winner, Deity Gray. This. I didn't know who to root for in this because Ex-Altera, they're their own breed. Deity Gray, he gives me the creeps, but then you look at it and someone like Wildman, after what happened to Fox Fedak recently at 2020 Vision, Fox Fedak is a legend in the industry, a voice of the boys in the locker room, a voice of news media in this proud sport. And for Wildman just to attack him from behind, I was kind of happy to see Deity Gray throw him over the top rope. But then it's like, well, Deity Gray's frankly just kind of weird, and I don't like it. But I don't want to say that too loud because he could be watching us. So I don't know.
Yes, I think he's always watching, and he really showed his grit here. Huge win for Deity Gray.
A huge win, huge. Because here's another thing. Wildman, former European champion. That speaks volumes. So, I'm excited to see, and that goes back to, because from what Wildman was saying, F the White God. White God. Big heart and soul in the old RWF locker rooms, So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just I'm kind of delighted with the results from that one. So, Deity Gray, congratulations. Final match of the evening. Wow. RWS, Baron of the Legendary Seven, Players Clubs, Carl Big Money Streetwise versus Pride of the Mask Lucha Libres, Latin American champion, the thespian for all seasons, Mick Mack, in a points match. Winner, Carl Big Money Streetwise.
Yeah, this is one of those matches that I think that if there was a different set of judges, this was a split decision here, different set of judges, different set of eyeballs on this one, I truly think this one could have went to McMack. I think there's a little bit of controversy here. I don't think that this one, I think you get a couple different sets of judges, and this could have went a little bit differently. My opinion was McMack won it. Sorry, Carl. You're not that damn good. So
you threw your beer across the press box during this announcement at the end here. So I agree.
Yeah, a lot of people did. I mean, this was not a steamroller over McMack here. This was they'll be disputing this match for years. I mean, Carl walked away with the right set of judges that night, and I would not, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't care who sues me. I think there was some money under the table on this one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would hate to think that something like professional wrestling could be rigged, or that something as illustrious as the Total Action Guaranteed World Cup tournament could be, just altered, But those judges, who the hell were they? Their money's money. So Carl has got some. He's got some big money, as he says, as the Players Club does. So some things I was like, that shouldn't count. That move shouldn't count. That's not a technical move. That's a banned move. That move's not a lot. But we weren't the judges. We're just the press team. So I don't know. It was sorry, Carl. Sorry, not sorry. But this was a disappointing way to end the night.
Very. Didn't end on a high note. I know Mac had a lot riding on this, pride-wise, for his company. Insert pun there somewhere. A lot of pride going into it, defending his friend, longtime best friend. Now European champion, Urban Jump.
Sure.
So there was he took this. He definitely was taking this one hard. You could see the emotion on McMack's face. He's not one to hide it, and he was very disappointed, very distraught. Very rarely see the guy angry. Could definitely feel the anger, hopefully he's okay wherever he's at.
Yeah. It's Mick Mack is a great champion, and champions lead their locker rooms, and I think I think the guys in Pride of the Mask will have his back that aren't out there to knife him in the back. But this was a hard one, and I'm sure Urban Jump will be there for him as well, but yeah, so Carl, Big Money Streetwise, dick, but it is what it is, he's probably thrilled to death, laughing it up with his two buddies, so, but that was the evening, that was the tournament. You got any final thoughts on any of these 8 matches?
A lot of good stories. A lot of people I want to see rematches with. I want to see a rematch between McMack and Carl. I want to see a rematch between Zero and Amazing. I want to see a rematch between Mitchell Fatal, Don Caliente. I mean, there was a lot here that left you wanting more. And
I
that's
agree.
a good thing.
There was a lot of firsts in this, and there was a lot of firsts that it was like, wow, that deserves a second. So yeah, I agree. I personally, I think match of the night. When I look here at the card and I think back, I think match of the night, in my eyes, Zero versus Amazing Hazen, just because of how deep that one lies, and I'm going to go with Fatal versus Don Caliente, because Fatal talked a lot, coming into this. So, but all these were all great matches. This is what the Total Action Guaranteed World Cup tournament's all about. This was stellar matches by two stellar locker rooms here. 3 stellar locker rooms here, just really going all out in match types that the fans were the real winners. So I can't wait for round 3.
Yeah, very excited. What's your final thought on who's winning the tournament now?
Oh. Final thought on who's winning the tournament. It's anyone's game now, because here's the thing. We're down to just 8 people left, and we have someone like Vendo killing it. We have someone left like Chad the Shad. We have Amazing Hazen. If matches are rigged, Carl Big Money Streetwise is in this. My money is going to be on Amazing Hazen. He seems still unshakable. This was a weird match tonight, but that was conquering demons. I don't know. That's my opinion. What about you?
I'm going to go with Kaoru Vendo, the Ryoshi champion.
Okay. Well, Kaoru Vendo just beat Amazing Hazen at the 2020 Vision, so maybe he has a leg up on him. That's a perfect thought right there.
Yeah, and he's just looking really good. He's beating a lot of world champions. He's defending the Ryoshi Championship all over Japan. He's really kicking ass. He had a really good showing here, defeating Fiesta. I mean, it was he's looking smooth. He's looking conditioned, and when you're on a hot streak, you got gold around your waist. I got to go with Vendo.
I don't disagree there. You're on a hot streak. You could be unstoppable. It's still any man's game, though. Round 2 has come to its conclusion, and looking at the time, so is this podcast. So, Barry, how about you wind us on out here?
Well, tonight has been an amazing night of wrestling talk here on the Wrestling Spot, but we couldn't do it without our good old sponsors, Energy Drink. And if you're looking for some additional energy, just unlock that energy. Just pop that can right open and chug it on down. We got some new flavors. Why don't you give us your favorite new flavor here?
My favorite new flavor is the one that I drank tonight at halftime, Sparkling Power. It's a zesty pineapple lemon lime blend, tons and tons of ginseng, guarana. The niacin had me scratching my face raw, but that could have just been watching that break the glass match. Could be that, I don't know, but Sparkling Power by Key Energy Drinks. my new favorite flavor. I think it'll be yours.
I can't wait to try it. If not, they sent me over a case. I'm really looking forward to cracking it open. It is so tempting right now. I'm gonna probably open one right after we're off the air here.
That'd be great.
Well, Key Energy, if you're looking for a new way to get down with energy, you're looking for a new way to unlock your hidden potential, then unlock it quick with Key Energy Drink. Grab it, put the key in, unlock, and feel the power of Key Energy coursing through your bitch-ass veins. This has been the Barry and John Wrestling Spot